So real world assets outside of stablecoins tend to be larger single transaction, is that everybody's getting destroyed by this. So if we go back to meme coins 9 months ago, you could make some money. They would go from a low market cap and then maybe they go to $1 billion. And people had a real chance. And then more and more issuance came and more kind of insiders were part of it. And it just became this endless slew of new issuance, of which the people would get out after day 5 and then day 3 and then day 2 and then hour 5 and then hour 2 and then hour 1 and then 30 seconds after launch. So they've got faster and faster and faster and faster and more of them, that what we've done is erode all the opportunity out of the whole thing. And maybe that's the good thing. Maybe we've actually finally reached the bottom of this. And some memes will survive, because memes survive all of humanity. So Doge has lasted since 2013. So some stuff will survive, but I think what we've done is hyperscaled this cycle, destroyed all of the excess gains that were possible, and that's hopefully the end of a lot of this. And we can then have a cleaner market. I think the difficult thing is most of these people are not us. So these are younger people with no chance of buying a property, who are seeing nothing but sort of a bleak financial future for themselves. So it's become this kind of financial nihilism, or to put it in a more positive term, it's a more speculative economy, because there are opportunities there and they need the opportunities to leverage. So they will always keep looking for the 50x, even though however often we tell them, listen, there's no such thing as consistent 50x returns. Really, if you're owning Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, whatever, you'll do fine. But that's not good enough for them. To have another 5 or 10x from there is not good enough for them. So they are looking for something. But I think you're right. The sense is that they will stop looking under this particular pile. Yes, they might find memes, whether it's Pepe or whether it's Doge or whatever, that survives and does well. But I'm not entirely convinced that meme coins will be the great attraction any longer. So how we create network value is either by number of active users, or it's also the total value transacted on a particular chain. That combination explains the value of these networks. So Bitcoin has big size transactions and a lot of users, which is why it's the most valuable. ETH has smaller size but lots of users, and it all flows from that. So real world assets outside of stablecoins tend to be larger single transactions. You know, if you're going to take a slice of a bond, or credit or something like that, it tends to be you stick in $100 million because you're a financial institution, and you don't do any more than that. So it's a high value, but only one or a few nodes in the network are using it. So yes, they're good, but they're not everything. So they add value. Gaming, on the other hand, much smaller values, gigantic volume size. So there is a balance between all of this. Now, over time, we will see the entire financial system go onto blockchain rails anyway. So it's not just the tokenization of real world assets, more so the hyper efficiency of putting equities, all bonds, everything on chain as an instant settlement system, proof of ownership, custody. You get rid of so many middlemen. So that's coming, and those markets are trillions upon trillions of dollars. So yeah, it is important. Gaming's important from another perspective, because that's one of the large communities of Web 2, social media being one, gaming being another, music being another, sports being another, that will eventually migrate across to this world. And all of those come with like 1 billion users plus. I mean, a big game can have 1 billion users. A big pop star has 1 billion fans. A big sports team has 1 billion fans. So these are very big things.
So if you're looking at RWAs just in general, especially around the stance of Solana and Avalanche, are you picking one of those to be maybe one of the market leaders?
No, I mean, I know John Woo from Avalanche well. John's come out of the traditional finance space, the hedge fund space, like myself. They're very well positioned in real world assets. They've been working on this for a long time. But we've already seen Solana do some. ETH will obviously do a lot because it's kind of the proven one here. We know that Sui has been working with Franklin Templeton. So I think it'll get spread across. I actually think the real world asset majority will be in the EVM system, just because you don't get fired for it. You know, you're not taking a risk. It's like having Microsoft go into any bank, any asset management firm. It's all Microsoft and not Apple. And the reason being, that's the easy decision to make. So Avalanche, I think, will continue to do this. They've got the other side of it as well, because they've got gaming as well. So they had the off the grid game, which is huge, which I think is very important. So my view is Ethereum have overbuilt block space for current demand. So we've had layer 2s, we've cheapened the layer 1, so it's not accruing so much. Now, let's go to a forward for a world where 3 billion people are using blockchain and EVM's capturing a large share, right? It's now scaling massively because of layer 2s. Yeah. It's then generating enough income on the layer 1 that you're generating revenues across. We're just not there yet. So we can argue all day about the technicalities of what Vitalik and the Ethereum Foundation are doing. The reality is they're building something that's going to be massively scalable in due course, and differently so than some of the others like Solana. So it feels that ETH is struggling, it's non-performant, it's not great. My guess is by the time the financial system steps in and starts building, and they start using layer 2s to build, and we start accruing value in the layer 1s, using these reduced gas fees but much higher volumes because they're coming through from the layer 2s, I think it'll all work out fine.